COP28. I know you've had enough of this already and everyone has checked out for the holidays. But allow me to take a few minutes of your time to break down exactly what happened. Here on the streets of the internet, I saw someone call COP28 Oil 28. That is a very interesting twist to it. For context, there was about 2,500 fossil fuel lobbyists present at COP28, and the host country of COP28 is a perfect example of what oil money can do. But at what cost? There's about 3.6 billion people living in contexts of vulnerability to the impacts of climate change. And we know that fossil fuels contributes about 90% of the global emissions. Despite this knowledge, there is very little progress in making bold statements about transitioning to renewable energy. On Global Stocktake, this was a perfect opportunity for us to come together and take stock of some of the commitments that we have made over the last couple of years with regards to reducing our emissions. And at COP28, it sent a clear signal of staying within the 1.5 limit through a roadmap to 1.5, which is a set of activities where countries will enhance their ambition through cooperation. On adaptation, the Global Goal for Adaptation Framework was adopted with the aim of enhancing adaptive capacity, strengthening resilience, and reducing vulnerability for most communities from the global south. It also urged developing countries to double up the adaptation fund because they recognize that we need about 300 billion USD per year up to 2030 to have enough finances for communities to build their resilience owing to the climate crisis. On loss and damage, which everyone is calling historic, we had the establishment of the Loss and Damage Finance Facility that will be hosted under World Bank. A lot more still needs to happen, and Mamadou Sila in one of our episodes actually broke down exactly what is needed moving forward. Please be sure to check that out. On energy, which I know is one of the most contentious issues, especially at this COP, was that parties have been called to contribute to tripling renewable energy capacity globally and doubling energy efficiency by 2030. On the fossil fuel language, there was also calls to accelerate the phase down of unabated coal. This is the same language as COP26 and COP27, which shows very little progress on it. And on the F word, fossil fuels, this particular cover text talked about transitioning away from fossil fuel energy systems, which I'm not very sure what that means. Maybe you, the audience, could break it down for us, or an expert would, because I feel like that's a very cunning way of framing the fossil fuel language, because every one of us was expecting bold commitments towards phasing out fossil fuels. Generally, I feel the presidency really tried their best to move the needle with regards to parties and countries coming together to make bold statements, make commitments towards reducing emissions. But I'll go back to saying you can't do the same thing expecting different results. So to me, I don't know if I'll call this COP a success. To some fronts, yes. In certain areas, maybe not.